I got a mic for you right there.
Oh, what?
Crack was gonna crack.
But did you not crack? No crack? Oh,
I feel like I just need to like get punched directly in the spine.
I know that feeling. I hate that feeling, and I know that feeling.
Yeah, where it's like I know that wouldn't fix it.
Yeah, that's the worst. Hey, what's up, Lazy?
Hey.
That coffee smells really good. Oh my God.
Would you like some? It is decaf.
I'm drinking wine right now, but I'll
Maybe in between or after.
That'd be
Yeah.
great.
We had nice Vietnamese coffee yesterday.
Oh yeah, how was that?
M&B
that?
was really good. It's funny. I
Yeah.
had a coffee, then right afterwards, I had their chrysanthemum herbal tea, which was divine.
That was
It was
Whoa.
so good.
That sounds marvelous.
I am just sending links out, but we can kind of get started if you want to start, Luigi.
All right. Well, first of all, usually we go around and see if anybody has anything they want to promote or anything like that. We'll start with Chancellor Russell.
It's Ruster. There's no L.
Ruster.
I know. It's like one of those things that like I keep having to explain over and over again. Yeah. No. So Catch Fire is playing August 1st at the Underdog, and the day before that, July 31st, is when Rock and Roll Angel is like officially released. So we got the single and then the show. It's very exciting. But other than that, this is the shit right here.
Yeah. All right. And then with Chance, we have Chris. I don't actually know your last name, but Chris here.
The great and powerful
What?
Kristen is
Yeah.
here.
From the French.
From the French. Ah.
Brought to you by the French.
Brought to you by the French. According to my family, brought here directly by Jean Lafitte.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, oh, like when he was like, working for the government, moving people around. They're like, no, like they weren't good. We make no qualms about it, apparently. But yes, coming up, Kindling Arts Fest is about to happen in Nashville. It's at a whole bunch of theaters. It's like all through the last week or so of July. I'm going to do my lighting design stuff for everything that's at the Barbershop Theater, which sounds like it's going to be a very eclectic mix of dance and spoken word and traditional theater and all kinds of fun stuff. And there's stuff all over town for that. And then top of next month, we have the East Nashville Facebook page musical. And I'm so excited about that. That's going to be at Eastside Bowl, first weekend of August. And it's just a bunch of crazy sketches and songs based on things that happen on the East Nashville Facebook page.
Oh, cool.
So like there is a whole sketch about a brown recluse, obviously. There's one about like the sex chair for sex that has always been out. It's great stuff. It's beautiful.
Hell yeah.
There's
Alright.
magic.
When is that again?
That is the first weekend of August.
Okay, cool. I would like to go to that. That sounds very nice.
It's fun. It's gonna be right where we just were at Eastside Bowl.
Cool.
So weird lighting system, but I'm excited.
Hell yeah. Looking forward to that.
All right. And then we also have Aria here with us tonight.
I can't really announce anything just yet, but we have a surprise. The other lane has a surprise on Halloween. That's all I'm gonna say.
Ooh.
Just be on the lookout. We're gonna be partying our butts off. That's all I'm gonna say on Halloween.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to Anne Rice's house.
Or the vampire bar. Wink,
Yeah.
wink.
Yeah.
Nice. And then Alex, you still
All I've got to plug is book club later this month. We did just put out an episode with the band Blissful Idiot today. That's up now. There's another episode coming out later this week. Interviewed a band called Soul Tour. And then book club on the 29th. We are talking about Shakespeare for Squirrels. which by Christopher Moore. I didn't really know what to expect with that one, but it's been really fun. It's like way more like debaucherous and vulgar than I thought it would be.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which like Neef's wife Michelle recommended that, and like
No
she's
way. I didn't.
that's why I guess I expected it to not be as vulgar, but
Yeah.
that great recommendation, and I'm excited to talk about that. If anyone's listening to this and they want to get into it, I highly recommend the audiobook. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy who narrated the Dune Messiah one. I just like literally just finished.
Really.
I'm not 100% sure about that. I'm trying to like find out who the narrator is, but I don't actually know how to do that. So but yeah, that's all I had.
All right. Well, then I think we'll get to talking about the movie. We're talking about Across the Universe, recommended by Alex.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll start with Alex. What made you recommend this movie?
Well, is this or Taxi Driver?
No way.
Which like I just Taxi Driver would be a fun one to do at some point too.
Oh
Just,
yeah.
like, that's vigilante justice is like so one of my hobbies, one of my passions. But you didn't ask about Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
You asked about Across the Universe.
So there's vigilante justice and Across the Universe.
Almost. They're building a bomb, remember?
Oh yeah. As I recall, he attacked those people before they built the bomb.
Yeah.
Was that
Yeah.
vigilante justice?
It reminded me so much of the Forrest Gump Black Panther scene. That scene in Across the Universe.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't like it's just a comfort movie for me. We were kind of talking earlier about like this is not so much of a discussion movie as some of the other ones we've done. It's just one that's like really special to me. I've seen it many times, and I do really like Julie Taymor. She has done other movies such as Titus, Frida. Me and Chris were kind of nerding out about it when we watched the movie. But yeah, she's a big name in theater as well. I didn't really know that, but I guess she does like set design.
She is like a director, production designer, everything kind of like she creates the shows.
So she's involved in like
She
the
writes,
production aspects and stuff,
yeah.
like the vision, like
Well, and I'll get into
props and
her
shit.
background at some point because it's very interesting and
Yeah.
very obvious once you know what it is.
I will say, like, one of the biggest, because this is literally only the second time I've seen this, and the first time was like 20 fucking years ago. Like, one of the biggest takeaways that I had was that, like, she trusts kind of the audience to, like, put the story together. Like, she doesn't spell stuff out. Like, scenes would jump from one thing to the other, but it was very naturally understood how they got to that point, as opposed to, like, not I don't know how to explain it any better than that. Like I liked the inference in a lot of the scenes, even that scene with Bono, like not to jump ahead, but like the inference is that like he's a charismatic kind of cult leader figure. He's come to another place with a charismatic cult leader figure, but they're both kind of assholes. And so Bono gets off the bus and he's like, oh, he won't see me. Well, fine, we're getting on the bus and going back to California. Like, I feel like that was a very realistic portrayal of like the hippie movement at that time and kind of like the different egos butting into each other in a lot of ways. I also really liked the portrayal of the band dynamic, even though like it felt like a potentially unrealistically sunny outcome at the end of the film. It was pretty realistic as far as like the egos in the band and kind of like how each person was reacting to stuff and whatever. Like, I don't know. There was a lot more to it than I think people give it credit for.
Yeah. It's very atmospheric. Like it's an emotionally like sets a tone, you know.
Mhm.
The other thing, I guess, you brought up when we were watching it, I never made this connection, Chance, but you compared it to Baz Luhrmann's The Get Down,
Oh
which
yeah,
is like my favorite show ever.
yeah,
Which it's like, yeah, I mean, now that you pointed out, it's like, oh yeah, definitely. That's like so adjacent to Across the Universe. Um, but what I like about the Get Down and same thing with Across the Universe is I guess it kind of reminds me of like what we have going on here. Like it's a bunch of I mean, like that's the 60s and it's a lot more like bohemian and they had like it's different, obviously.
But they were the pioneers in a way.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're like eclectic, like art scene kind of just reminds me of my life, you know?
No, absolutely. It was beautiful too. And I also I also love how they're portraying like the different 60s artists like Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, the Beatles, Joe Cocker saying come together because it was driving me nuts when it broke to the scene where they're all saying come together. It's like, I know that voice. Who is that
can't believe I
man?
didn't recognize
I
him.
know him. And then at the credits says Joe Cocker. Like, I knew it was him because my opinion, he was probably one of the best singers of the 60s, in my opinion. It was really interesting because there were a lot of music critics that were talking about Joe Cocker before they knew what he looked like. They thought he was a black man from the Mississippi, and then they realized it's some Irish guy singing this like, "Whoa, what is this? You're incredible," you know?
Yeah.
Well, that's what's crazy about like kind of the birth of like rock and roll in England is all those white kids from the upper middle class England literally wanted to be black bluesmen from the South in the 30s.
Yeah.
Like that was what they were listening to. And I mean, that's,
Especially Led Zeppelin, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think all of the Beatles covers were really good. Like all of the
Look, as a
renditions.
singer, I always like to decipher like their technique. I do believe the best singer was Jude. Definitely. He was more like, I don't know how to describe it. His voice definitely reminds me of Paul McCartney, just very raw, but he had good vibrato too. I was studying him, like how he was lip syncing, but I was just like hearing it. It's like, that's good vibrato, that's good control. But I was also impressed with Hey Jude because I didn't know he was gonna hit that really high, and I was like, "Come on, you can do it, you can do it." I'm like, "Yes, you did it, yes." Judy, Judy.
best part of that song.
It is the best part, and not men can't really hit that note. Like that's most women can't really hit that high note. The fact that he did it really well was like, okay, yeah, I'm very impressed.
Yeah, like the versions of the songs were really good. They were different enough that it was like, it was in the context of the musical kind of thing where it almost felt like, oh, that could have been only written for a stage production, like, I don't know. I did enjoy like the rearranging of those things because, they weren't like unrecognizable either.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely different arrangements. But I think that's a testament just how good of songwriters the Beatles were.
They really, especially John Lennon.
Yeah. Like those are iconic songs and you can do like, I don't know, you hear the Beatles versions and that's oftentimes like the worst version of those songs. Like,
Yep.
The roughest.
I agree.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
And
Hey Jude, I'm sorry that kid was a lot better than Paul McCartney
Yeah.
himself.
but I think that just means that they're really good songwriters, like because these are like, I mean, there's a reason people keep covering them, and it's like you can do more with it. Like you can imagine when, especially in their boy band era, like
Yeah, when they first started before they did
Yeah.
drugs.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
before
they were
cracked
doing
their
drugs.
mind
They were just
open.
doing the wrong drugs. They were on amphetamines before they came
Oh,
to
I didn't know
America. And Bob
that.
Dylan introduced them to weed. Oh yeah, dude. When they were playing in Germany, like before they ever even released Meet the Beatles, like they would play in clubs for like 5 or 6 hours a night in Germany, and they were taking amphetamines. And then when they came to America, Dylan introduced them to LSD and pot. And that's when like the psychedelic era of the Beatles starts. Like if you listen to like especially those first two albums, like especially Meet the Beatles, like and like Twist and Shout, like he's screaming his head off, and they're playing really fast, especially for the time. Like it's pretty wild to think about like their evolution connected to like the drugs they were using at the time.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, as to quote Bill Hicks, he says that if you're anti-drug, then go home and burn all your CDs because all the best bands did psychedelics. You know what I mean?
They had to scrape
Yeah.
Ringo off the ceiling with a rake to sing that song. Ringo comes in, he's like, I don't know, he's singing about something about a yellow tangerine. I don't know.
That was a weird freaking song. I'm surprised they didn't cover that in the movie.
yeah.
Like, but that would have been too weird. Like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
You
that is
know?
one of my
That's a good
favorite Bill
point.
Hicks quotes of all time, though, when he says the Beatles were so high they let Ringo sing a couple of tunes, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Had to scrape him off the ceiling with a rake.
That is an interesting transformation that they had where they went from boy band to extremely experimental,
Yeah.
psychedelic.
It's like
And then they started questioning, and then God rest his soul, John Lennon was taken out.
I
Yeah.
think it's Rubber
Random
Soul
hand
and then
song.
Revolver when they really kind of go psychedelic. Like Rubber Soul's the first one where they kind of get weird and they have like Norwegian Wood is on that album. There's a couple of other like kind of weirdly proto like psychedelic songs. And then Revolver, they really started to get out there, and then they just progressed from there because after Revolver's Sergeant Pepper and Magical Mystery Tour, or vice versa.
I guess that's most of their career that they're weird.
Well, what's crazy to think that they only released albums for like less than 10 years. Like 63 is when they came to America and were on Ed Sullivan, and by 70 they had broken up.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
And
That's
I
crazy.
loved that last scene on the rooftop because again, that mirrored the Beatles' final performance, like on the rooftop and all that stuff. Like that was really cool.
Yeah.
I will say there is something that I found a little disturbing. Have you ever seen this picture of the Beatles and they're like, there's a photo shoot and they're like holding baby dolls, but there's
Yeah.
like meat
Yeah, it's
surrounding
weird.
them?
Yeah.
I don't know what the
It's-
hell that's about.
It's a weird one. It's I can't even think of what it's an album cover from like England that they shot. It's a very weird photo shoot. Yeah.
Interesting.
Look it up. It's very unsettling.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll see.
it's a pretty weird image.
Let's see if I can find that here in a minute.
So do you think in the movie the use of Beatles music was more to feel like the time, or do you think that there's an actual connection of why they wanted Beatles music specifically?
I think that it's like it's topical to the stuff that happens in the movie is not about the Beatles, but it's topical to the Beatles. Like Jude is from Liverpool. It's in during Vietnam War, and there's like a preachy element to some of the Beatles stuff, like Revolution 9, like just. And also, what else? British Invasion. There's like rock and roll, the psychedelic stuff. Like a lot of the movie is not just the music. A lot of the movie is inspired by the Beatles' legacy. Even if it's not directly, like it's not a documentary, it's fiction, but it feels like, it's actually weird now I think about it that the Beatles like don't come up in the movie, like because they were obviously really influential, but they're not they don't exist in that universe.
Neither does Janis
Yeah.
Joplin and Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, it's interesting that
Yeah.
they don't directly reference like any actual like massive, artists from that era or whatever. And one thing I just kind of realized too is that it is lazy to your question, like it seems intentional that like the songs are telling a narrative, not just in the context of the universe, but also sort of reflecting like the Beatles' journey as people. The thing with John Lennon, where he had a wife that he was married to before the Beatles started, and then he, that's I think that's Sean's mother, or not Sean's mother, the other kid's mother, Julian's mother. But like they grew apart as soon as he started to kind of get famous and went to America and all that stuff, and like that's kind of represented in Jude's relationship with like that first girl, where he leaves, but he's like, oh yeah, you'll always still be my girl. But then that's a very like human and realistic thing that happens in life, where you're in love with your high school girlfriend, and then things happen and you mean to stay together, but you don't, like, and that seems like that's something directly like correlating to his life, maybe. I don't know. You were gonna say something too about it, right?
Yeah, well, I think also if you look at when this movie was made, this genre is a jukebox musical. So it's not original songs. This was pretty fresh on the success of Moulin Rouge being a jukebox
Oh, we lost
musical.
your audio. That was weird.
Oh shit.
Not on this end.
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
No, we can't hear you guys. It was
Yeah,
weird.
my-
Like it
my-
stopped mid-sentence.
Not like my microphone's on.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's working. Wait,
Oh, okay.
It's good.
Maybe it's my end.
it says the internet connection isn't stable for
Hey,
us.
try something. Try saying something.
Speak.
Okay, can you
Okay,
hear
we
me?
can hear you now. We can hear you now. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so what I was saying is basically, so this is a jukebox musical, which means it's not original songs. Moulin Rouge had just come out a couple years earlier and had actually been really successful, even though that was more of like a combination of different artists. So that was a thing. Why are you creeping? He's trying to pick up a cat, and my cats hate him. Gonna get a smack. So yeah, so basically like this was a moment where, and that had been, Baz Luhrmann. So this was a moment where you could take someone who's very creative and visionary and has very specific things that they want and is a little outside of the box. I can't believe you're holding him. He's letting it happen. But also you could capitalize on the success of the momentary jukebox musical, like, yes, we can do this kind of thing. And I've kind of called this like a musical version of Forrest Gump, where it takes you through what was
really
going on
is.
in like the 60s and everything.
Yeah.
And it is kind of that time capsule where it's like, how do we follow just a few people's journeys, but still tell this whole story? And obviously, Beatles music is not meant to be fully narrative, but there's enough of it that it kind of works. So
Yeah.
I think it just also kind of suited the purpose at the time, which was getting successful off of musical compilations. And for one moment, you could put a musical in movie theaters and people wouldn't be too scared.
I feel like it got better reviews because it's not your typical musical, because everybody knows the Beatles, and it's not like, okay, no offense, there are some musicals where they have really cringy Broadway type songs and nobody really likes that, but it's Beatles songs, so it's more tolerable to most people, so it's not your typical musical.
Yeah.
That's true. Like, I love this movie as a theater kid, and then my dad also loves this movie. So
And I hate
Music in
and
general.
I like this movie, so I do
Yeah.
not like. I'm not a fan of musicals. Like I can't stand Sweeney Todd. Not a fan. Just
Oh no, I love
yeah, I
it.
can't do it, man. I don't like the music. It's not that I don't like the vibe or like the imagery or the story or all that's fascinating to me, but the music in that film just drives me up the wall. Like,
is it because everyone's singing super high pitched the whole time?
no, they're singing really fast, and like
Yeah.
it's not musical. It's stage musical, which is like a whole other thing from like the Beatles music, which is like I don't think they ever set out to write a single song where they were like, this is what people want to hear. Maybe in the beginning, but definitely not by the middle of their like songwriting.
Was it a
whatever.
dogs are like, screw you, this is what I'm gonna write.
Yeah, they definitely got to a point where they're like, whatever. But and they're legitimate geniuses in a way that like is so hard to not take for granted now. Like it's so ingrained in like everything that like you'll hear people say they're overrated or whatever. And it's like, dude, you're not thinking straight. Like it's not even about whether you like it or not. It's about understanding that they tapped into something that is like it's unexplainable how good. Like they don't have a bad song. Like the Rolling Stones have a bunch of bad songs, like songs that are just not good, like flat out. But like I challenge anyone to listen to any Beatles song and be like, that song's bad. And it's like, no, that song invented heavy metal. It sounds bad. Yeah.
I definitely see what you mean. Yeah, you're right. There are some Rolling Stones songs that are like, what am I listening to? But yeah, Beatles songs, I'm like deciphering. I'm like, Yeah, metal was influenced by this. I definitely respect the Beatles for that.
Well, they
Yeah.
had when they showed the soldiers, when they showed the kid who was going to Nam, and he had like the soldier kind of psychedelic part, and they played that song "She's So Heavy," and and it like that is like, to me, that is like the birth of heavy metal before Steppenwolf, before any of that other stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a breakdown.
Yeah.
It really is. Like, I know it's sad what he's going through. It's like, I like this song.
Yeah. Oh, and they're carrying the Lady Liberty. She's so heavy.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
cool. Oh, I didn't even, dude.
I didn't notice that.
I
Yeah.
thought that was way too on the nose.
No, I don't always make these connections. Like, I
Yeah.
mean,
You're making different
for
connections.
as deep as I read into shit, then I'll miss like the most obvious shit. I'm like, that's Phil
Like,
Cocker.
they're
No fucking way.
literally
Yeah. One of my takeaways this time versus other times I've seen it, me and Lazy were talking about this the other day, is Jude is an asshole.
Yeah.
Like,
A
not
little bit.
yeah,
well,
like,
so's Lennon.
yeah.
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Like,
Hypocrite.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that's what I'm saying about like human nature and about them as people. And it feels like there was like a writing correlation between like Lennon, kind of his character specifically, and Jude's kind of like, yeah, well, I don't know what to tell you.
What's interesting to me about that is I hadn't noticed that other times I've seen it. But this
You
time
think it's
it's
because
like,
you're older?
yeah, probably.
Like,
Because there's a
'cause-
couple of things this time that I noticed that were different. Because like, yeah, he's like, yeah, he's cheating on his girlfriend. Also, he just like barges into what Lucy has going on, just because he's insecure and his egos makes
Yeah.
him makes him show up and disrupt and attack people. And like he kind of turns out to be justified on that, but not on like anything concrete. It just kind
Yeah,
of works
he's
out
right,
that
but
way.
like not in a way he intended.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
only right because we know he's right. Like, he doesn't
Yeah.
know that he's in the right.
He doesn't
Nobody
know
else.
that.
Yeah.
It just kind of works out that way. But like,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's like, I mean, he was kind of like not a good guy. Also, I feel Lucy is definitely the most interesting character to me because it's like she's a widow. She's also like an activist. Like she's serious. Like she has like she's actually invested in this protest. Like she lost her boyfriend. Her brother got drafted. It's like she's like, no, this isn't like not a game to her.
Right.
It's like
right.
this is serious. And I think my favorite scene in the whole movie is when she's on the phone with her mom. And that because that's just such a gut punch where her mom is like, I just don't want to lose my daughter. And it's like I was definitely a lot more radical when I was younger. And I remember having conversations like that with my mom, where it's like, don't put yourself in danger. And it's like, well, I don't know. I don't think we should. She actually kind of does the same thing later on in the movie when she finds them building the bomb. And she's like, I thought it was the other side that drops bombs.
I was just gonna say that even she sees that like, fighting fire with fire, yeah, it always, creates a bigger fire. And I was just gonna say that, like, she realized like, wait a minute, like it's just this divide and conquer mentality that's what they want. Like they want us to fight each other instead of like, actually living as where was I going with this? Basically living peacefully in a way that won't hurt people. But I do like what you said about that. Like, I thought only bad guys make bombs. Because like I said, when you fight fire with fire, all you make is a bigger fire. And she realized that. She's like, oh my God, what are we doing? We're just as bad as they are. I saw those it stuck with me when I got home watching that movie.
Yeah.
That was a good line. And those two things are also like tied in historically. Like when she's in the phone booth, that I think that's kind of implied to be during like the 68 like Democratic convention during those riots in Chicago. And then the thing with the bomb is the Weather Underground that was like a radical movement that they ended up blowing themselves up and got raided. it's a whole crazy story. Like there's some really serious like historical correlations in it too. But again, it's inferred. It's not like spelled out for you and put in your face, which I like. I think it's it's vague enough that if you know what it represents, that's great. But if you don't, it doesn't matter. It just seems
And
like
it kind of opens stuff up. Like I remember when we first watched it, it came out in 2008, so I was like 18-ish. But like watching it with my parents, it was like a lot of like, oh, well, they would say like, oh, that's referencing this moment. Oh,
Yeah.
that's this. Oh, that's Joe Cocker. Like
Yeah.
they would tell me all this stuff, and it was like these conversations that we got to have as them being people who'd lived during that time, and me being that activist who's calling them and saying, no, the protest is fine. Like there's tear gas, but there's also monks.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Like I'm not doing anything that dangerous, but maybe it is. But don't worry.
Alex, I liked what you said while we were watching it too. You were like, I've literally had that conversation with my mom, and like it hit me pretty hard too. Cause I'm like, yeah, that's like word for word. Any of us that are like that, we've and who have mothers who are worth the shit, that's the conversation we've had.
Yeah. And like she was right.
Yeah. They're the moms are right. Like,
Yeah.
are.
But also, like that being said, I still wouldn't.
no, but we
Give
have to
up
be
that
ourselves. Yeah, like we have to make
Yeah.
those
Yeah, I don't
choices to
think
be
it's
ourselves.
But like this is also where I watch it and feel like, yeah, Jude is a bit of an asshole, because I think that the whole time he's kind of trying to like just exist in this world without being bothered. He doesn't want to invest as heavily as Lucy. Like he doesn't really want to get his hands dirty, but he is going to live in a country without a visa, watch his best friend get drafted, like have all of this stuff happening, and kind of act like, well, that I can live without this affecting me, and why isn't she doing the same thing? I'm upset that she's trying to exist outside of our bubble. And then he's also trying to make art as if art isn't influenced by the social climate that you're in. So I think that his art is being influenced by that. He's just trying not to acknowledge it because acknowledging it is hard. So it makes him a complicated protagonist.
Yeah.
But I felt like a lot of the messaging was just like, look, you can't fix everything, but you also can't ignore everything because it's going to come for you too.
But you also do the best that you can, kind of. I mean, I don't think he was like openly malicious in any way. He just did kind of go with the flow.
Self-centered.
As
Yeah,
people are.
Yes,
I
as
like-
people are. He's human.
I like what you said, Chris, because it is good. Like nothing changes if we don't change it. I think what I was getting at is it's when you try like empathy can lead to like a dictator, right? And it's like with like the road to hell is paved with good intentions kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like I've definitely done that where it's like I'm upset. And I should do something about this. And that's correct. You should. But it's like an overcorrection makes you the bad guy.
Yeah.
And really love is all you need. Love is all you need. Is if like, Lucy at one point when they're in the laundromat, he's basically like he's not even upset about her doing the protest. He's just worried about that guy that she's talking to. And he's insecure about that. And he basically lashes out at her and like her beliefs. And she's like, this is someone who has lost directly in a real way to this conflict. Like Jude is not even American. There's no way he's getting drafted, right? So it's kind of like, fuck your opinion, liver, like you fucking limey. You're not even supposed to be here. Like she even says that.
Yeah.
It's like and that's actually a really good line. She's like, you're not gonna get drafted. And he's like, yeah, neither are you. Which that
other way around.
Oh, okay.
He tells her that she won't get drafted. So it's like, well, you're not gonna get drafted. She's like, yeah, neither would you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a great part because it's like, yeah, you're not. I mean, that's great. And but he does like she says then after that, like all you do is do your little doodles or something like that, which is mean. But she could have said that better. She kind of has a point though. Like she's like, I'm trying, like, who are you to judge me? I'm trying to do something. You're in your room drawing, which is important. Art is important. But I think kind of like to what Chris was saying earlier is like we've got a, or I guess it was Chance was saying there is a middle ground here where it's like you can't. No, it was Chris because she was talking about how Jude's art, he tries to create in a vacuum and won't acknowledge that he is affected by the environment around him. And it is a collaborative effort. You don't want to be totally captivated by what's going on in the world where you lose sight of yourself, but also you don't exist in a vacuum. You
It's
exist.
finding a middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and also you have that kind of halfway two-thirds I mean, I guess like beginning of third act, end of second act of the movie, sort of where we're all out doing our like drugs, free love, Mr. Kite kind of moment. And it's like, yeah, you want to do the drugs and the art and take part in this like subculture and stuff, but you have to understand that this sprung up from somewhere very intentional. Like it's a reactionary subculture to things like the draft and to a lack of American government transparency and through our invasive foreign policies, like, and through people being dissatisfied with it. Like that's reactionary. So you got to understand, like, this is where that comes from. It's like, yeah, you want to be a part of this culture. Well, there is a culture here that you have to be aware of. And if it's too much for you, be aware of that too. But again, you don't just get to like party with everybody and act like that sprang out of nowhere.
Well, I also
Yeah.
think it was commentating on like the party hippie culture idea in the sense that like, yeah, for every one person that had like a truly enlightened moment on LSD in a field with 1,000 other people, there were 99, 100 that like had a bad trip and ended up being crazy assholes. Like the myth of the hippie movement in the sense that it was like, oh, we can all be enlightened together. And it's like, no, that's not really how that works either. Like, this is something that you have to come to yourself. You can't just be part of some nebulous kind of like, I don't know. I felt like it was directly kind of warning against that kind of like seeking as far as like, oh, you're just trying to, get into a DMT trip and meet the elves. Like, no, dude, you need to approach it with a little bit more finesse than that.
I will add something to that. I do know a lot of hippies back then, they would spike their friends' drinks without
Yeah, that kind of
telling
shit is crazy.
It almost happened to me. That's why it's very personal to me because I kept saying no, 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 no. But I would always be worried of like, is my drink going to be spiked? Because like, it's really funny. I don't know if you know this, but Al Jorgensen spiked Maynard's drink at Lollapalooza. I think it was when Undertow came out.
Yeah.
Maynard did say, yeah, that is why I became psychedelic, but it was just like I wasn't prepared for that. It was like somebody pushed me into the pool and I was drowning. He's like, yeah, that wasn't cool that he did that because I wasn't ready. If you're gonna do psychedelics, be aware of it and like I said, don't do it for fun. And if somebody spikes your drink, please spit it out because you're gonna lose yourself because you were not mentally prepared for that.
Yeah,
that did happen in the 60s a lot.
That's a crime and you should go to jail for that.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a consent issue.
Yeah, you
Uh,
can't just mess with people's
yeah.
brain chemistry.
And I can't remember where I first heard this term, but it was in school. It was when I was in high school. The term slipping someone a Mickey is what like the old like term for that was. And like we had a teacher in high school literally explain to us what that meant because it was in I feel like it was in like Steinbeck or something. It was in something we were reading in English, but it was like the concept of slipping somebody a Mickey. Anytime I think about that now, I'm like, and I mean, yeah, it's happened to me too. So it's not fucking okay. Like, and even if you're doing it to your friends, like I never thought that was funny. Like I never thought it was funny to like dose my homie if he didn't know what was up. If he knew what was up,
No.
that's great. This is going to be fun. Like, hopefully it doesn't open bad doors in your mind and we don't do it at church camp, which I did.
Like now there's also an understanding that like some people, when they take psychedelics or something, it activates their schizophrenia that
Yeah.
they didn't know they had yet.
Yeah.
Like you don't know
Yeah.
what you're doing to someone's brain. You don't know what switch you're turning. Like the power trip you have to be on
No, it's a
to
little-
make that decision for somebody is crazy.
Yeah.
But this was a period of a lot of power trips because you could find, I think, as soon as a community is subversive enough for the general culture to not keep an eye on it, then someone's going to try to take advantage of that. Someone charismatic, like your weird little Bono bus character.
Mhm.
Well, there's way
Will
more bad
slide in.
people than good too. Like, so you've got
Way
way more bad
more.
people with access to these drugs. In my opinion, I think there's way more bad people than good. And I think that, like, especially in that subculture with access to those drugs under those circumstances, like, I feel like there was way more bad shit that was going on than good, obviously leading up to, like, you know, the Manson stuff, which
I do disagree with that. I think people are good ultimately, but that's a rabbit hole conversation.
yeah, it is.
That's
It is.
quite
It is.
the rabbit
It
hole.
is. It is.
But I
Yeah.
will say David Bowie did say what killed hippie movement was greed and pride. Like
Yeah.
it got to the best of people. Like they're asked, like there were these hippie festivals that like Woodstock. They were like charging $8 for a freaking bottle of water, and it's just like, no, screw you.
At Woodstock,
Over the
That's like-
years,
that's like
yes.
$30 now.
Exactly.
Well,
That's what
like
David Bowie tried to
Woodstock
say.
was free, and that was the thing about like the Woodstock story is insane to begin with, because the fact that
Mhm.
that was a free concert, and then they tried to do it a couple of times again, but it just turned into a complete shit show. Like that's one of the reasons that the Rolling Stones hiring the Hell's Angels for
Dude,
security at
yeah.
Altamont turned into such a shit show. Isle of Wight was technically supposed to be free too, but then there was a whole thing with that. Like the quote unquote hippies like were trying to promote like free stuff, but I mean you can't have a bunch of bands play in a huge sound system and a crew run a show and not pay anybody. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't work that way. And there
Yeah.
was like a central myth to kind of like the hippie ethos that if you really look into it, it almost seems like a psyop in a lot of ways. Like,
Well, yeah. I mean
Yeah.
that too.
like if you look into Laurel Canyon and like the ties to, I mean, dude, fucking Jim Morrison's father was an Army intelligence officer. Like there's a bunch of weird stuff now that we know that when you look
Yeah.
at kind of how that culture rose and fell, and the reason they did that specifically was to quell the anti-war movement and to eliminate the Black Panthers. Those two things were like massively paramount. And they did believe John Lennon was a legitimate threat, and they probably killed him for it. Like they tried to deport him for years. Like there's this documentary called The US versus John Lennon that I can't recommend enough that explains the period of time where he lived in America from like 71 to like 80 when he was killed. And the whole time, like J. Edgar Hoover was trying to deport him. Like they
Yep.
genuinely saw him as a threat. They thought people would actually listen to him more than anyone else that had anything to say in that entire period of time. So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
The hippie
I
movement was a
still
lie.
believe John, like a random
Good
Not
place
so
for a lot
John.
of people, but I'm not nihilistic. There's some people.
I'm sorry.
I agree. The person who killed him was probably not a fan of this.
I also, well, it's really interesting because I also kind of think that would have been like Dimebag Daryl of Pantera. Just like that was interesting. It's like, why are they trying to kill musicians? Like, what the hell? You know?
Yeah, that
Oh,
shit
it
was really weird.
happens
God, I
all
remember
the
that day.
time. Oh, they killed Lennon. They killed Hendrix. I mean, like
Tupac.
Tupac.
Well, Hendrix probably
Juice WRLD,
OD, but they
X.
definitely killed Tupac.
Yeah.
I still believe they killed Chester Bennington. There is no freaking.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Him and Cornell both, like
Yeah.
that's a thing that
Yeah.
definitely had to have happened. Like
That's-
Thank you.
That's some Epstein shit. That's
Yeah,
like a
it
child
really is.
trafficking
It
thing.
is.
Yeah.
I
it
will
is.
say, because Chester is one of my idols for singing. That
Mhm.
shook my world when I heard about
Yeah.
that. I was like, "There's no way."
Horrifying.
They killed him.
Yeah, the circumstances were crazy. And yeah, like I spent probably 3 years with Hybrid Theory and my Discman for all of my school bus rides. So I'm like pretty deep into it. And our first date, I like brought up, I was like, so like we were just having time. I was like, so like
Well,
But
we
you
were
don't
li-
think Chester
like-
Bennington killed himself, right? And he's like, no, I don't. And I was like, okay, then let's
Yeah.
go out. Second date.
Yeah.
Because one of their
Yeah,
songs
yeah,
like came up on the thing we were listening to.
Really was just looking for a man who didn't believe Chester Bennington killed himself.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
all I
yeah.
wanted.
Like that. I mean, I can remember like I remember being at work at 6 o'clock in the morning and pulling the newspaper out. This is how long ago this was. And on the front page of the newspaper, in a tiny little like blurb on the front page, it said the guitarist and drummer from the band Damage Plan were shot on stage last night at a club. And it was like I was like, I started shaking and I called Buck, my friend Buck, and then I called the radio station in Oklahoma City and was like, dude, did Dimebag get shot? And the guy's like, yeah, man, he's dead. And at the time they thought Vinny had been killed too. So there was like this is like pre like major internet cycle news stuff. So like we had to wait like a whole day to even find that out, man. Like fuck, it was nuts. I mean, I remember the day Tupac got shot. Like I was still in high school, and this dude that I worked at this restaurant with, it was this cook, this black dude named Pete's first dude I ever bought weed from. And he was sitting at the bar at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, fucking crying into a beer when I got there. And I was like 15 years old. It was a sophomore in high school. I was like a busboy at this restaurant that my dad owned. And like he was literally sobbing. And like that's how I found out that Pac had been killed. But like, I don't know, man. Yeah, there's some of them I think OD'd. Like I'm pretty sure Hendrix and like Morrison just OD'd. I don't know. Morrison may not have died at all. He may have just faked his own death and ran away.
Hendrix was murdered. Hendrix was murdered.
I don't know,
I-
man.
dude,
I'm pretty sure
I-
he was just fucked up,
What are
but
these
I don't know.
I-
You draw a very wiggly line.
Well, the
High
Hendrix stuff
profile
is
assassination is what I would call common. Like Oliver Tree.
Oh
was
yeah,
murdered.
you're not wrong.
Juice World, Mac Miller. Like okay,
Nipsey
people,
Hussle, dude. Fuck.
people OD on drugs. Okay, that happens.
Yeah.
The amount of high profile artists that just die is like improbable.
That's true.
It
That's
happens
true.
all the time, usually at the height of their career. I mean,
that is-
like, okay, we're way in the weeds, and I'm sorry, Lazy. I'm gonna bring it back around, but like,
I've been waiting
Wait
for
for
that
Ari to
commitment.
come back.
I don't know if y'all been keeping up with this Tyler Robinson trial, but
Dude, this shit's fucked up, man.
I'm just saying,
Famous musician.
influence of people, which oftentimes is artists, and like good or bad, it's like high profile is what I'm talking about. It happens all the time. It's what I would call common.
Yeah.
It is often that high profile figures are taken out. And
Dude,
I'm sure,
if that kid's not a patsy, I will be shocked. Like,
well, the thing
there's-
is, and oh man, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
how
sorry.
many legal claims do y'all want to make on this across the universe?
Yeah.
Recap.
Let me
I said
this
if.
is all my opinion, and it's also satire. I don't mean this. This is
It's for
a-
entertainment purposes only.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris, for reminding me that. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, nothing. Don't take anything I'm saying seriously. This is satire. Anyway, what
This
was
is
I
not
saying
official
about?
legal advice.
Yeah. But I mean, fuck. What was I gonna say? The
You're gonna talk about
Erica
how
Kirk and JD Vance are Michael Aquino's children.
See, that's not relevant.
I'm just saying.
oh,
That's a
we're
rabbit
so
hole I
far
went
from
down
relevant
recently.
right now. We're so far from relevance. We
Uh,
were talking about across the universe.
Yeah.
Julie Taymor's jukebox
We're
music.
talking
You know
about
what's
how
weird is that
no one's
was that song
assassinated in
ever
it.
actually in the movie?
Which one?
Yes.
It was. Yeah. No, that was. They had the
Yes, when you found the subway.
They had the monks in the subway. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And the Hare Krishna is weird too. That's a weird thing.
You got to do something to explain George Harrison's input.
Yeah. They went to India. Apparently
Just to get through.
Ringo hated it.
I'll bet he did. He doesn't look like a spicy food kind of guy.
Yeah. That's a wild thing that they did too. I do love the Dewey Cox movie for just like that one little segment is great. Meet the Beatles in India.
I guess
No, like it's a vibe. I loved Eddie Izzard as Mr. Kite. That was a great addition. If no one's ever seen Eddie Izzard stand up, it's hysterical. You should absolutely check it out. He was the guy who was the crazy circus
Dude, that was trippy. That part,
ringmaster.
like, what is this?
Yeah.
I
It
think
felt
was,
very like Tim Burton Big Fish era. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's
Like I said to him during it, I was just like, this feels like it's borderline like Terry Gilliam stuff.
Yeah.
Like the weirder Monty Python kind of like collage things that they would do and everything.
And like Brazil kind of like
Yeah.
yeah, very. We should do Brazil for this thing.
oh,
By the
Brazil.
way.
Yeah, that's actually one
It's something
we'd
to talk about.
get into. Yeah.
We'd almost
Um,
have to start doing like director segments. It'd be like Terry Gilliam, David Lynch, like that kind of stuff. Anyway, sorry. Back to the film at
You don't
hand.
have an agenda.
yeah, we were talking earlier about, I think part of what makes me like what I like about the movie so much is it's wholesome. Like there's dark subject matter for sure. Like the war stuff is there, it's present, it's topical, but it makes me happy. Like it also makes me sad. Like there's really sad parts, but not every movie has to be dark and gritty. Like it's like I said, it's a comfort movie for me. Like it just makes me happy. Um, it makes me feel a lot of things. It also makes me sad, but it's it's emotional, and I guess that's what musicals do, right? It's evoking a feeling. Um, but that's what I enjoyed about it is just it's lovely.
It's interesting to me that
it's
you say
fun.
that about this, and your other pick was Taxi Driver, which is like
Yeah.
literally the exact opposite. No. What I'm saying is like those are the two things that like make you kind of who you are, like as a person. I didn't
Aw.
know that like those were your two picks or whatever. And it is. It's like the the beauty and the darkness, the fuzzy and the prickly, like kind of a thing. But like yeah, I agree with you, and that was my point about the band is like they show the band getting back together at the end of the movie. Like that's not a typical thing that happens, but like the whole outlook of the film is sunny and positive, like right
Yeah.
up to the end, kind of, which I
Yeah.
do like. I agree with you. Yeah,
It
that was
it
my
makes
takeaway too.
it's lighthearted, and that I mean like it takes you down into hell though, like but somehow comes back and is like it is sunny disposition, which I think Chance, it was either you or Taylor Santangelo of Morbid Orchid who pointed out when we were watching it that that's not what happened. Like that whole narrative like didn't actually like that was a dark time.
Right.
And
the
the movie,
PTSD doesn't go away. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
But I feel like this is a short span of time. You don't see the next week, the next year, that kind of thing. Like there's momentary reprieves, there's moments of joy, but maybe in some ways it is kind of that like Quentin Tarantino killing Hitler thing, where it's like, what if things
Yep.
were dark and
Right.
brutal, but like had a little bit of an upturn at the end?
Well,
What
in a
about
way,
that?
it's almost like what if Lennon didn't die? What if Jimmy didn't die? What if Janice didn't die? Like, it's like
Well,
what
it's
if
like you
these
just see them in old
what
age.
if Abby Hoffman
They could
didn't
all
die?
die
What
the
if
next year.
right? And also like it does, I think it was Taylor that was kind of talking about like the death of the 60s, and then we started talking about like the Manson murders and all that, the things that killed like the hippie movement. And then you go into the 70s, which is now where Taxi Driver comes from, where that bleak kind of cinema becomes like the artistic expression of the time, where the music changes, corporate rock kind of takes over, the Eagles are born. Like, I mean, like, and don't get me wrong, I like the Eagles, but like that is a band that was like directly formulated by every member to be successful on a commercial level with that in mind. And before like 1970, like you didn't necessarily have that kind of mindset. I know that they were trying to sell a product still, but like something changed like in like 69 and then into 70, you know what I mean? It's like you had the riots and then like Woodstock, and then kind of like the death of just I don't know.
Well, you also had specific producers taking over.
Well, in 68 too, like Bobby got killed and MLK got killed, like in 68, like within, I don't know,
They
6
even
months of
addressed
each
that.
other.
They addressed that in the movie too.
Yeah.
MLK dying happened during Across the Universe. Like he sees it on TV. Yeah. Yeah.
Like again, you're to your point about like these high profile people being taken out by lone gunmen every fucking time. Like it blows me away because they know we don't believe it, or at least a bunch of us don't believe it, but they don't care because it's a spell that they've cast, man. Like
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. We're so numb to it. They're just like,
it's-
what are you gonna do about it,
we,
basically?
Yep.
yeah, it's
Yep.
fucked up. It's so fucked up, dude.
I was literally in the car, like on the way, talking to Neef about exactly that, where
Yeah,
it's they don't have to they don't care if you believe it. They just have to say the lie, and it's like a magic spell. And
Yeah.
what's fucked up, what's really bleak about that is they're right.
Yeah.
They are getting away with it. But let's not, let's not dwell on that. We'll get back to the
I just think
movie.
it's interesting. Like right after the hippie movement, that's when the UK punk scene, like that's when Sex Pistols came out, the Damned. That's when Susie and the Banshees came out. They even said they were like the hippie movement died because they're being kind of hypocritical. The way punk was just like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna be provocative," and like that infamous Sex Pistols interview with what's that guy's name, Bill Grundy or something, Bill Gertie or something.
The one we were just talking about, where Susie's
Yeah.
in the background.
Yeah,
I don't
and he was
remember
being
who.
creepy towards
Yeah.
her. Mhm.
Yeah, that interview is legendary.
It is very legendary. They're all drunk off their ass.
Yeah. And she's like, she has more than one iconic look. Like she
That's
has
why I admire her.
kind of like
admire
Gerard
her.
Way. Like she has eras of iconic
She
looks.
does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
I do love Gerard too.
maybe we could talk more about the movie.
No,
It's a good
Okay,
thing you're the
well,
host of this show, Lazy.
So
One of the things-
I'll give like a
Yeah.
little Julie Taymor
Yes.
background. So for anyone who doesn't know, I went to school for theater and it's been very lucrative for me. And everyone should do it. It's not a waste of money. I dare you. But so basically Julie Taymor directed this. She had mostly been in stage production. Basically from the time she was like a teenager, she was like learning mime and dance and mask performance and traveling the world doing this stuff. So she did like mask dance troupes, mask theater troupes, that kind of thing, like these very artsy things. So she's had a lot of these projects where you really see that come out, and she obviously puts that in around the Mr. Kite sequence. You see a lot of references to that. You see it in her other movies a lot as well. She is very much like a full performance person, and her big break was basically late 90s. She designed or helmed the design for the Broadway production of Lion King that is still basically being built on today. So like the masks, the dances, it won a bunch of Tonys, including for lighting design, which is cool. She has like a lot of Tonys. So she comes from theater and she does some film and stuff. Obviously, Titus is a trip. Only watch it if you're like, it's not across the universe.
No. Oh no, it's not.
People get eaten by people who don't know they're eating people. But it was kind of like, it was one of
Yeah.
Shakespeare's first kind of big hits where you were supposed to be like gory and over the top and stuff to even get on a stage.
It's weird Anthony Hopkins has been in
Um,
2 movies that happens.
I mean, maybe he's
More
drawn to
than
that.
that.
Maybe he like
That
reads
one has
scripts and he's
sequels.
like, I'm sorry, there's cannibalism. I'm
Is he
taking
still
it.
alive?
Yeah.
He is
R.I.P. Sam
composing
Neill.
his own music.
Oh.
Really?
Anthony Hopkins is now a composer.
All right.
That's
Look at him go.
Right?
So yeah, so Julie does all of this stuff. She has some movies and everything. The big kind of like the drop in the career basically, where she kept making stuff and everything, but basically was the Broadway production of Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, which was a Spider-Man musical. Just quit laughing.
It's funny to think about like somebody in a Spider-Man leotard trying to fly across the stage and then just hitting the stage.
Yeah,
That's
no,
funny
I
to
think
think
that
about.
there were at least 5 like major injuries. Like one was a girl dropped out of the air and got a concussion that she didn't tell people about right away, and they had to find out the hard way. One guy
Oh.
broke his feet, one guy broke his wrists.
They dropped a bunch of
Like,
people.
They just and OSHA
Oh,
fined them thousands of dollars for
Right.
finding things that were wrong. It was also the most expensive Broadway production in history by
That
the time,
never
and it
got
kept
made.
getting delayed. So by the end of the delays, it totaled to around $75 million.
And never actually like performed.
And her original Mary
Damn.
Jane in it dropped out, who was Evan Rachel Wood.
Oh shit.
So she left that. And her original Green Goblin also dropped out, who is Alan Cumming, who she also has in Titus.
Oh shit.
He calls it inadvertently dodging one of the biggest bullets of his life. Because yeah, he could have been dropped somewhere.
Yeah.
So
we
they
don't
kept
know.
like trying to stage
They
it,
kept
but
trying, and
they never
eventually
actually
she
did
was
it all.
fired,
Yeah.
and a different director replaced her, and she successfully sued the production for not crediting her for her work. And it's like, maybe just don't talk about it at all. Maybe just take the L and move on, and don't argue with people that you're not getting enough credit for the musical that tried to kill everyone.
You should have thanked them for
I'm
Um,
glad nobody died, but it is funny to
Yes.
think about like stage kids. Like just
that.
It just really bad things happened.
there's got to be
So
video of that.
she's done other. I've looked. She's done other successful stuff since then, but she's like older now and everything. Like, as
So
far
she
as I
hasn't
can
made a
tell,
movie
slowing it
since?
down. It's been a little while since she's made a movie, but she's made other stuff. She just does every form of performance art and design. And I like how that comes into it. I like her style. I like the oversaturation of color
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
dips into being abstract from being realistic
Yeah.
and stuff. It's like as much as like the opening of this movie, which is kind of like sad and dark, and then has that bit of their Janice stand-in singing and stuff like that, hooks you and everything, and it's very evocative. The like heart rate I have during the bowling scene is so low. Like it's just so soothing. It's just parts of that movie are just really calming to watch. And I like how she goes in between these things and like it's like, you know what? If this idea is better expressed outside of reality, let's do that. Like, let's just slide people along bowling lanes. Let's do everybody as little cutouts. Let's get everybody with their big masks. And then you have it used to kind of horrifying effect, like the women falling into the water during the Vietnam War PTSD sequence and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
she's good at that. She's good at slightly warping reality. So you still get what she's saying and you're still following along with her journey and stuff without it being hyper realistic. But I think in that way, that kind of feeds into it lacking cynicism, where I think cynicism is a lot of what we're talking about, coming in and combating the hippie movement, where when you have the kind of punk response to that, it's just like, no, that's not cool. It's not cool to like put yourself out there in that way. You've got to like not care and tell everybody how much you don't care. And this movie cares and it tells you about it. And that's really nice. It's just kind of the
Yeah.
opposite of nihilism.
Yeah, I so agree with you. Like about the like it's optimistic and it has feeling and like actually cares. But also what you're saying about like her use of the abstract and the colors, like the saturated colors. One of my favorite parts is right after they dose. I think it's like the bedroom scene where the colors like invert and it's like all like just everything is melting and it's just super saturated colors. And then the next thing that happens is they're on the bus. And it's like Lucy's even like, how did we get here?
Yeah, that was disturbing. It was just
Yeah.
like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
What? What am I doing here? You
Yeah.
know?
It's like, did I miss something? And it's like the
Yeah.
characters acknowledge it. They're like, we don't know what happened.
I like that. It's just like you wake up from that lucid psychedelic experience, then you're sobering up. You're just like, why am I on a bus?
Yeah.
What is going on?
Yeah, for me, that movie is an emotional roller coaster where it's just like it's sad, it's dark, it's light and happy. It takes you on a trip. Yeah. Um, that's all I had. I really appreciate also all the Julie Taymor lore because I didn't know any of that.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Um, that's that like because I'm a fan of hers mostly for Across the Universe and Titus. She did an adaptation of The Tempest, which is also pretty good. I do enjoy that. Some of her other films, I like Frida. I could really like. I could give or like that one's all right. But like, but specifically, I mean, you're right when you say Titus is like the opposite across the universe. It is fucking bleak, but actually, kind of like it also blends that line though of like objectivity and abstract. Like they start out like Roman attire, and then by the end of it, they're all wearing suits and ties, and it's like, wait, what happened? What's going on? Like it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And but like you still can follow it. It's still like you understand what's happening. So in like a very different thematical way, it does blur those lines, like you were saying, Chris.
Yeah, it's nice, and it has that kind of theater element of it, where like in theater, everyone's always doing like, okay, we're gonna do Shakespeare, we're gonna set it in Old West times, or like, just kind of like mixing and matching things as much as they can. So you can see that sensibility come in her movies. And it's not for everybody, but I think Across the Universe is probably like her most accessible kind of work.
Yeah,
And
I would agree with that. Yeah.
a lot
More
of that
than-
is with help from the Beatles, since they shaped the culture
Yeah.
that she's trying to appeal to.
Yeah. I think that's all I had.
Well, there was one thing that was touched on earlier that I think we said we'd get back to, which is that apparently this movie is a bit controversial and that a lot of people don't like it.
I think it's because of the musical. That's why it was like most people don't like musicals. Like if you didn't you say it wasn't really promoted as a musical type movie or something like that?
I remember someone else saying that it was like a lot of, I think maybe it was Chris saying that.
Yeah, it like
No.
studios are very afraid to say come see our musical. They just wait for people to have butts in seats and realize they're in a musical and then hate it. So usually if a musical fails, I blame the studio first for their advertising. But also like, you have something it's the Beatles. People have very strong feelings. Everyone's aware of them. And a lot of people feel strong attachments to them. So it's like, well, we're gonna have this person sing the Beatles. It's like, well, that's not how I imagine it. And so people are gonna have feelings.
Yeah, they're one of the biggest bands in the world. And they're just like, don't screw it up.
Yeah, and I think as creators, you just kind of have to let go of that. You can't be constantly worried about pleasing everybody, otherwise you
Right.
end up with current marble slop.
No, but I was really impressed with all the singers. Like they all, I still think my favorite singer is Jude because
Yeah, Jim
he definitely
Sturgis.
reminds me of Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Just-
I didn't.
I was studying their vocal technique. I'm like, okay, they're actually trained. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed.
He was really good. That's a Jim Sturgis played Jude. And yeah, I think they actually did those songs. I think.
Right.
That's
I think that's them
That's what
singing.
Chris was saying. That
Yeah.
that's all them singing. They were cast specifically for that.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was perfect in a way. Just like, my opinion, I think it sounds better than like their vocal techniques better than Paul McCartney and John Lennon because they are trained. So you're gonna have more vibrato. You're gonna have more dynamic, more vocal control, and it does sound. It's pleasing to the ear more so because they're trained.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought all the songs were really good. Even like Rachel Wood's, like her songs are very what would you say? Like operatic. Like
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
can tell she's trained.
Yeah.
Well, and Chris was saying she's coming here. She's playing a show here like pretty soon. Like she's
Evan
on
Rachel Wood?
tour with her own stuff. Yeah.
Really?
What
Yeah,
kind of
she's got like a
music?
duo act that she's in.
Oh,
Nice.
that's cool. I want to go.
I want to say it's at like Exit In or something, like something kind of small.
Whoa, we should go. I'm gonna find out when that is. We should go to that. That'd be fun.
For
I have
sure.
actually no idea what that would be like, but it'd be an experience.
It'd be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting her brother's name, like in the movie. What's his name again?
Max.
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 That's right.
I don't know.
Maxwell
He's good
Silverhammer.
too. Like I said, I wasn't expecting him to hit the high note really well in Hey Jude. Like I was waiting for him. I was like, come on, don't screw it up. No, you did screw up. Yes.
You know what else he nailed was happiness is a warm gun.
Yeah.
He was good too.
Yeah.
I could see him fronting a band. Max has that lead singer personality. He's very charismatic. Like I could see you on stage. It's like head banging and just
It's called Nirvana.
Which, yeah. Well, and that song and that like that part of the movie and that song, like that's from the White Album. That's when John was like strung out. Like that's literally what he's writing about, is being strung out in that song.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that's another one where it's like the whole vibe is like, yeah, it's relaxing. But if you look at what's happening, is like he's getting shot up with morphine. He just got back from Vietnam. It's kind of implied. Actually, the last scene you see of him in Vietnam is when he was spraying the gun. And then like it wasn't even like his buddies dying. It was like that he took a life. I think is what's implied there. Is
Right.
like he killed people and that's what he's bringing back. Which it doesn't touch on his trauma too much, but like yeah, that happens where it's like people are dying around him and he's killing people, and then the next thing he's in a hospital and like he's next to dying soldiers. But the theme is like it's all airy and light and it's like yeah. But it's like actually a really dark scene.
So I am very impressed with their singing technique. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
I guess we could start wrapping up if
Yeah, it was a good one, man. I'm glad that we did that. Like, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Taxi Driver, and I haven't seen that in a long time either, but this was optimistic. Like, I did appreciate the optimistic ending.
Yeah. We'll definitely if Lazy permits, we'll do Taxi Driver at some point. I do love that movie too. And it's like not my I have other movies higher on my list of favorites, but like if you're asking me what we should talk about, there are more specific movies that come to mind, and Taxi Driver would be one of them. I really like vigilante stuff, like Daredevil, Batman.
I've never seen Daredevil. I know it has a really good soundtrack.
The
Because it's entirely Evanescence.
Oh,
Yes.
you mean the Ben Affleck Daredevil? Like, yeah.
See the movie, just listen
You're
to
not
Evanescence.
missing a lot on that movie, but the
The-
show's good, or at least
yeah, the Netflix
show.
Daredevil is really good. I
really
think you're
well
probably
done.
talking about the Ben Affleck Daredevil, which is a movie. It has I mean, it does have a great cast. It's
Michael
what's,
Clark Duncan is Kingpin.
Yeah. And
Colin Farrell.
Bullseye. Yeah,
Oh, Colin Farrell. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Hell yeah.
Actually, I would watch that.
Listen, I love movies with a great soundtrack. Like I know Queen of the Dam wasn't great, but
Mm.
I love that
I
soundtrack.
love that movie. It's a good
Yeah,
movie.
it's a good one, too.
I like it.
Pro. I
Yeah.
love it too. Like I will judge a movie based on their
Yeah.
soundtrack.
Yeah, those are both. I actually really like both of those movies, and I guess a lot of it is the soundtrack.
And
actually.
Constantine.
Yeah.
Constantine's a good one.
Underworld.
What was the
Underworld,
movie
yeah.
you recommended we do?
Constantine.
There was one the other
Or
night.
Mask of the Red Death.
Yeah.
I love Vincent Price. Anything Vincent Price, I love.
Yeah, we haven't really done anything from that era either. Like that'd be a good one. Like any Vincent Price, and that's kind of his like one of his most iconic, I guess, other than Edward Scissorhands, which
And it's interesting with everything going on with
which he filmed
Epstein.
while he was dying.
Mask of the Red Death is a very interesting movie when it comes to parties of the elites. it's an interesting pick. Let's
Yes,
just say
yes.
that.
Is it like Eyes Wide Shut kind of? Kind of similar?
Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit.
I'm definitely interested. We should watch. I've never seen it. We should watch that. What
Are you
what
familiar with the story?
No, don't tell me anything.
I will.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But
No.
lazy. What are we doing next one?
We could do Mask of the Red Death.
Yeah.
Next one. You wanna do that?
I will say I will be out of town the first week of August. I'm going to the beach.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll
it'll
do
be
too,
later on
actually.
in the month anyway.
Perfect. Okay,
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah, let's do that.
But be sober for this. Don't take anything.
Okay.
It's disturbing as hell. You will have a
Okay.
bad trip if
Okay.
you do.
All right, noted.
Speaking
What
of
era are we
disturbing,
talking about?
we just watched Event Horizon in honor of
Nice.
Sam Neill passing away today. Rest in peace.
All
Great
right.
actor.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah. But Alex, you and I watched In the Mouth of Madness together.
Did we?
Didn't I show you that?
I don't know. What
You
is
showed
that?
me that.
I thought I showed Alex In the Mouth of Madness also, which
You and I
think is a-
watched Tombstone,
Oh yeah, we did.
and
we
we
watched
watched the
Thing.
thing.
Yeah, maybe we
You
didn't
did
watch
show me
enough.
some really awesome movies. I don't think I've seen that one.
Okay, that may have to be my next pick then, just because
There's nothing to talk about because it makes no sense.
it's a great film.
Oh.
Anyway,
Oh.
yeah, Mask of the Red Death's
You
gonna
know,
be
he's
great.
talking
Lazy,
about
was this
current
the first time
politics.
you'd seen this?
What's that?
Was this the first time you'd seen this one?
Across the Universe? No, I've seen it before.
You
You've
had seen it before.
Uh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I made him watch it before.
yeah,
Right.
I did not care for this movie that much.
Lazy, what do you think about? Yeah, elaborate.
Yeah, you gotta talk about it a little if you didn't like it.
No, I found for me it kind of drags and just feels very long.
Yeah.
And I don't agree that it's referential without you having to know the things. I think without like it's too referential to the point where it's like it's referencing a lot of things. It's not really saying anything though. So there's a nice vibe going on, but there isn't really a story. There isn't really a story or a commentary or anything, but it keeps referencing things that people feel strongly about without saying anything.
Okay.
I think
That's-
that's fair.
That's really
I
interesting.
actually agree
Yeah.
with that. Yeah.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you're not a fan of the 60s music, if you don't really know the Beatles, Janis Joplin, or Jimi Hendrix, it may not make a lot of sense. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God, you're supposed to be Janis. Like, you
Yeah,
know
like,
what I mean?
If
Yeah.
you don't know that that's who those two characters are, it's like, why are they even here? What is
Okay.
it?
I actually agree with you. Is it doesn't say a whole lot. There's
You're
not
right,
like a
but
whole
I
point.
love her, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have the strongest point of view on the things it's presenting. It's like, look, you remember when MLK died? That happened.
Yeah. And to the point about like the optimistic ending, like
Exactly.
that's the thing about the band reunion is like that's not how that would ever really play out or how it ever did play out in history. So yeah, it is like unrealistic in that aspect. I guess you're
Well,
I
right.
think that's what makes it kind of a comfort movie too. It's just
Yeah.
like it's not telling me how to think about
Yeah.
anything. It's not even telling me that I need to think.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
but man, Lazy, to your point, like to a certain extent, most of the time I prefer to have to like think about it. So yeah, I get what you're saying.
Well, I think for me, it's kind of an odd mismatch of like, why be referential to all these topics if you are going to do it's just a feeling, don't think about it.
If you have nothing to say about it.
Yeah, it's like, well, did you have to bring up such serious topics then?
Yeah.
I think it's very it's a vibe. It's like it presents emotions, which is like a thing a lot of musicals do,
Yeah.
which is like it gives you like a feeling, and I think it was effective at that. It made me feel things. Like but yeah, I guess like to your point, it doesn't really like make any statement. It's like not
Yeah, that outside, I think it does really good at the feelings part, but that part of it for me is just it's too long of a movie.
yeah, I
I
got
need
you.
it to be shorter.
You're
It does
bored.
feel long
So,
when you watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does start to,
like I felt
again, there's criticisms that are valid about the film itself, I guess.
I do. For me, I feel like when he gets deported and goes back to England, it felt like the movie had lost all of its steam at that point, where it's like I'm checked out. even though more stuff is happening. I feel like I'm just waiting for the end. So
Yeah, I
then
think
like
that's
that whole last scene with the roof where it's like now the police come and arrest him for playing, but then he goes up and sings, and now the police are cool with it.
Did that really happen with the Beatles?
I'm
Did they
like-
actually get arrested?
I'm so checked out.
They didn't
I'm-
get arrested, but the cops did come and shut them down.
I'm like,
Oh, okay.
but like at that point, I was like, I'm so checked out that like this just to me, I'm just looking at this something that just feels stupid, as opposed to like this great moment of him being reunited.
No, now that I think about it, I don't know if I've seen this movie so many times. I don't know if I've ever seen it while not under the influence of substance.
Hmm.
Anytime I've seen it. So like I don't feel like it dragged. Like I don't feel that way, but also maybe I'm a little biased.
It did make me respect the Beatles more so because I was like, oh yeah, they're cool, whatever. But after watching Across the Universe, like, wow, I really like their songs. Like it does tell a story. Like before they did drugs, they're wearing the suits or whatever. Then when they were doing drugs, they were basically explaining how they were during the trip. Then afterwards, it was a good story in a way, and it makes me want to buy the White Album now.
Yeah, it's highly recommended listening. Yeah, dude, I get you. And also like as a like fan of the music, if I was sitting there watching it dead sober, the only thing that would keep me really engaged would have been waiting for the next Beatles song to come up. Like, how do they end?
I see what
That
you
the
mean.
whole time we were watching it, I was trying to remember, like, what's the last song? How do they tie this? Like, every song that comes up, you're like, oh, like I'm listening for the next song that I'm going to recognize or whatever. And like, how do they weave that into the narrative or whatever? But yeah, if you just had to sit and watch this sober, it might lose a little bit of the luster.
Yeah.
I
I
watch
do
it
think-
sober, but I'm the right kind of nerd for this.
You are,
Like,
yeah, you're in.
I'm the target
I love
audience.
60s
so-
music, so I enjoyed it a lot. I
Yeah.
love hippie music.
I'm glad we got to nerd out about Julie Taymor, and I was already a fan, and I didn't know any of that, Chris. So the lore
Yeah, it
is,
was very exciting to hear someone else be like, "Oh yeah, Julie Taylor, yeah."
yeah.
I do think all the sets and the production side of it is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's more of a like the narrative side of it. I feel like is pretty weak.
I understand that.
Seems
That
to be
makes
where
sense.
she falls apart.
Does everyone have like a favorite song from it?
Come together because it's Joe Cocker, of course.
Mm.
I
That
like,
might have been the coolest.
He was actually, like I say, he actually has that rock voice because the kids that were singing it, yeah, they're trained theater kids, but they don't have that angst like Joe Cocker has. So of course that's going to be my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, and
I
I
like
like how they showed him as like those different characters, like
Right.
from that was cool. Yeah, that was
That was
probably
really good.
That was probably.
I'm
my
glad that
favorite,
he
too.
could still sing right before he died.
For me, it is either when Prudence does "I Want to Hold Your Hand" or when Jim Sturgis does "Something." I like that one a lot too. And both of those are like it's not like it's just them, right? Like it's just Prudence, it's just Jude. I thought I like both of those parts a lot. I'll just listen to those like sometimes.
There are large chunks of this soundtrack that I just listened to. I liked the Helter Skelter cover.
Yeah.
I think
That's
for
a good
me,
one,
some
too.
of their songs that I don't love the Beatles' original execution on, like I was saying, I do like the songs when it's like presented in a certain way, like when a certain person's singing it and it's mixed a certain way and stuff. Like I think this hits a lot of that. But yeah, I like the Helter Skelter cover quite a bit
That was good.
more than the original.
Yeah, it's
That
much better
hurts.
than the
They just sound
original.
like they're on drugs, man.
They
just sound
are.
high to me.
They are.
I don't want to know
They were
exactly how
inventing-
high someone is.
They were
when they're
inventing new
singing.
techniques in the studio while they were doing it. Like, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't get what you're saying.
They
And
need
again,
to
the White
credit-
Album.
They need to credit the drugs on the album along with them.
Brought to you by LSD.
Yeah.
Well, like I said,
Just
they
be in
do,
the
they do
sleeve.
sound better than Paul McCartney and John
Yeah.
Lennon because they're trained better, so they're going to be more dynamic in their vocals. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Chance, did you have a favorite song from the movie?
Mine was the Come Together, just because of
Okay.
the, again, like, and I didn't even realize that was fucking Joe Cocker, but I'm like, man, this guy's really good. But like, I like that he was those like different kind of archetypical like hippie like characters in that kind of montage, you know.
Yeah.
Plus,
that
I
was a-
liked Mr. Kite too, because you know that's just a weird ass fucking song, and
That
apparently it
was
was.
interesting. Yeah, I was just like, wow.
He,
It's
he
very
said
like gray.
Lennon said the song was inspired by like a old like 1800s like circus poster that he saw.
Oh,
That's
that's so he
Yeah.
did it. He did that.
Honestly, yeah, this was like the closest to making sense for me that song has ever come.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And also you saying that like totally puts that song in perspective. He did that. He
Yeah.
made a circus poster.
That's why like he's a legitimate genius. It's like it's just hard to imagine somebody doing that today, writing about like an AI image. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
No, I
It's-
definitely see what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. Anything else?
Anyway, love the Beatles. Yeah.
I did like it's is it the song called Strawberry Fields?
Yeah, it's Strawberry
Mm.
Fields Forever. Yeah.
Okay. I actually like that part. I thought it was a good I do like when more artsy things are done where it's like he's making art though.
Mm.
It's like it's kind of like it's getting a little like what does this song even mean? It's like, well, he's trying to make an art piece, so it is kind of exploratory.
Actually, on that, his art was pretty cool. He
Yeah.
did a lot with just black and white.
Mm.
Like and mostly it's portraits of Lucy.
Mm.
But he does a lot that's just black and white, and then he does the thing with the strawberries. So like Jude's art actually is really cool.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts from anyone?
Like I said, this makes me respect the Beatles a lot more.
Mhm.
I will say that.
My biggest takeaway is that I never realized how much Jude sucks. And
He's Neville. Doesn't he look like Neville Longbottom?
he does.
A little bit.
He does look like Neville. And I like Lucy as a character. I thought she was an interest, like, because she like actually has a stake, like she actually has a dog in this race. Like she has lost something and also has something to lose. Like I believe her character. Like yeah,
Right.
she it's not like a performative activism. It's like no,
Exactly. She wasn't like
Yeah.
hidden from the real world. She actually lived
yeah.
through it. And she's not I won't go down that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's not performative. She's like actually invested in
Because
this.
she lost lost her boyfriend and she's losing her brother. So she
Mhm.
actually lives through it. It's not just trendy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
That's my takeaway.
Chance, Chris, any last words or said it all that needs to be said?
Yeah, that's it. It's just, another story about a guy who doesn't have a lot going for him and thinks a girl will fix him. And she's too busy trying to fix the world, and he gets frustrated with that, and then he gets deported.
Yeah.
It's a tale as old as time.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's so true, though. That's so true.
All right.
I will say I did like the scene where he comes back and he sees his ex-girlfriend and she's just like, yeah. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got married. What are you gonna like?
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know. I loved her attitude about it. Like she
Actually,
knew
Chance,
the second he left that he was full of shit.
Chance, did you think about when his dad, he did the same thing his dad did?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He
He
did.
did the same thing his dad did. He went to America and knocked the chick up because when he comes back, she's pregnant. And he even straight up asks her, how long did you wait after I left?
Yeah.
He said it was 2 weeks after you stopped writing.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's kind of implied that might be Jude's kid. In my
I never
opinion.
actually thought of it like it might be Jude's kid, but that's horrifying.
I
Yeah.
think that's in it. I think it's kind of like ambiguous, but kind of implied a little bit.
Yeah.
So I
and then
think
she kind of got hitched, like, and maybe let that guy think it's his kid. That's even
Yeah.
I
it
didn't
seems
think
like
about
they got married real quick, and she was pregnant real quick.
It's starting to sound like this is not a feel good movie at all.
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
It's
I
really
will
dark.
say, for some weird reason, that part when like he comes back and his girlfriend's pregnant, I don't know why, but it reminds me of that movie Control that was inspired by Ian Curtis' Joy Division. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's set back in like that. I don't know. For some reason, that reminded me of Control. Because like she was pregnant and he's just fucking around and everything. He wasn't being serious. I don't know why that
Wait,
part
so-
reminded me of
It's weird that you bring up Control because the actor of Max is in that.
God, he is. I always see bits and pieces because I'm like, listen, I know it's not going to be a happy ending, so I'll watch it when I'm in a better headspace as of right. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna be crying like a bitch if I watch Control.
Yeah, man, I don't need to watch a whole movie about him offing himself. Like, I know how that story
especially in
ends.
this headspace. Like, no,
Yeah,
I
I
can't.
know how that story ends. I don't
We
wanna
all
do that.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like dark shit as much as the next guy, but like that he
That
just
one
makes me
was
he just
real.
makes me
That was
sad.
that was a true story.
I know Ian Curtis makes me sad.
He does, yeah. Oh,
All right. well,
Anyway,
I
love the
think we'll
Beatles.
probably call it there for the movie podcast.
Thanks for joining,
Thanks for joining
everybody.
everyone.
We still have Paul and Ringo. They're both still here.
If they are.
is that actually them?
Oh no.
The Paul thing is weird, but I'm pretty sure it's still him.
Well, that's a rabbit hole we'll go down another
Yeah, I
time.
was like,
Yeah.
Because I'm interested for you to elaborate on that, but this is not the time.
We'll get into it.
We'll get into it.
and yet Yoko's still alive.
No fucking
yeah.
shit.
She's gonna outlive all of us.
She's gonna outlive all. It's always the spiteful ones that live the longest.
Yeah, shit. Yoko will be around after we're all gone.
Will she be screaming?
Yeah. Still.
Yes. Yes, she will.
Yeah.
Do you think John Lennon was like, I can't write a bad song? So that's why he was like, wait a minute. I figured
Wait
out
a
a
minute.
trick. I can make bad music now.
Man, I don't
Loophole.
I figured out a way to do this.
if you listen to his solo stuff, like some of it is almost like he just I don't think he thought he couldn't write a bad song. I think he just didn't care at that point. Like I think by the time the Beatles were over, like you just to imagine like that mind space of like literally kind of being like considered the biggest like artist in the world, and like I don't know, and apparently he was kind of an asshole. Like
Yeah, he was.
like definitely a crook bloke as far as the lady hitting and stuff
Yep.
like that. So like I don't know,
Oh
man.
yeah, I do remember that
Like
now. I'm
his
ooh.
and then you listen to his solo stuff, and some of it's not great. Like I don't like listening to it, but you can kind of you're listening, you're going, yeah, but it's John Lennon, so it's like, am I giving him grace because it's John Lennon? And then I don't know. So yeah,
Yeah, maybe he's trying to do that on purpose. It's like I'm purpose. Like
I
David
think he
Bowie.
deliberately trolled like the media before that was even a thing. Like if you watch a bunch of his interviews, like he knows that he's fucking with people, and it's kind of funny to
Absolutely.
watch. But he was also kind of a dick, man. Like I don't know.
I don't know. I think that at a certain point, his ego got big enough. No one's telling him no, and Paul doesn't have him on a leash anymore. I think Paul forcibly channeled John into making good music.
That's interesting. No, I
I don't
definitely
like
see.
Paul's music without John though. Wings is I don't
Yeah,
like.
they made sense together, and that's it. That's
Yeah.
what made them their like iconic sort of lightning in a bottle thing. Is like they all made sense together,
Yeah,
but individually, we can't speak to the success any of them would have had.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sad story. And poor George.
Yeah, that was
Really, George is like my favorite of all of them. I don't know. It's like George. It's a tie between George and Ringo, really, as like people. You know what I mean? In the end, it's like if the people you would actually want to hang out with would be one of those two guys.
Those seem like the most like hippy dippy types. Like obviously John also.
alcohol, but like very chill. They weren't. Like I
Yeah.
said, they didn't hit women. Unlike women.
Which one went to see the guru first?
That was Harrison. That was George
Yeah.
Harrison that got really.
was
into
George
it
Harrison,
and
correct?
stuff. The Maharishi. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maharishi.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna stop rabbit hole.
Yeah.
All
Love
right.
you guys. This was a good one. Thank you, Alice.
Yeah.
Alex, I will see you tomorrow, sir, and
Yeah.
Aria, I will see you Thursday.
I'm so excited.
Cool.
Finally.
Sweet.
So what are we doing next month? What will we doing?
We're doing the
The Red Death. Are we gonna do the Red Death?
Mask of the Red Death.
Mask of the Red Death.
Like I
yeah.
said, be sober for this. Maybe be a
Yay.
little bit drunk because it's a heavy
excited.
one.
Let's
Don't
do
be
it.
on substances. You'll have a bad
Okay,
trip.
I won't. I promise. Cool. Thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you next time.
Sounds good.